Hi, everybody. This is Andrea Paquette, president and co-founder of the Stigma-Free Society. It is so amazing. I think I saw you last Friday. I was doing some interviewing, and here I am again on Monday. Hope you're not getting sick of seeing my face. Anyhow, I am so pleased to be here today. We have a new guest, Elyse Cochrane. And how are you doing today, Elyse?
I'm doing well, thank you. And how are you doing?
I'm doing really good. It's a real pleasure to have you here and to talk about the work that you're going to be doing with the Stigma-Free Society and what you do in your world with youth, children, and students. So I'm so excited to have you here. So thanks for being here.
Well, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here and really excited to collaborate with you and the Stigma-Free Society team. So thank you so much.
Nice. Okay, so I'm just going to share your bio so people can get a sense of who you are and a bit about your background, which is actually quite fascinating. I was reading it and very cool. So I'm going to share this. Elyse Cochrane holds a Bachelors of Education from Brock University and a Master's in Educational Technology and Learning Design from Simon Fraser University. She's been a K-12 teacher for 7 years, and working with children led her to find her passion and firm conviction in the power of social, emotional, and cognitive learning. As the program director for Dolphin Kids Achievement Programs, Dolphin Kids expanded into over 12 schools in British Columbia, providing innovative and customized SEC services, including parenting seminars, in-class field trips, professional development workshops, after-school programs, and summer camps. She's also curriculum lead for DolphinPod India. This is so cool. Asia's first live skills center. Through online training and traveling to India, Elyse successfully bridged professional and cultural gaps to spread the message of social, emotional, and cognitive learning across the world. See, that's like amazing. I'm a real traveler. I've been to like Singapore. My mom went to India in the past, and I just love it. And I think, I can't wait to dig into that piece of it and exactly what that global experience was like for you. But first and foremost, I would really like to have you just share a little bit about yourself and the work that you do, why you do it, and maybe a bit about your passions and stuff. So.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you for reading out the bio. One of my main passions that you mentioned in that is social, emotional, and cognitive learning. And a little bit more about me, though. I am a passionate educator, but I'm an avid hiker, enthusiast for the outdoors, environment, and sustainability. I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, but also I'm a lifelong learner. And I found that with being an educator and kind of looking at my passions and my hobbies and my interests, it's really learning and meeting new people and connecting with others and building relationships with others, learning more about them. So that trip to India that I took to the DolphinPod Center was an amazing experience for me, being able to connect with our team over there and the students and the teachers over there as well, and really helped me develop my worldview and my professional development as an educator tenfold, just being able to connect with the people globally. So that's been really exciting for me as well. And so like you mentioned in my bio, I am from Ontario originally. I moved here about 8 years ago, and I packed my Mazda 3 with my life after I finished my education degree, and I headed west looking for educational opportunities to help me find my passions and niche within the education field. And I really found that with educational technology as well with social emotional learning.
Nice. Well, we have something in common that I didn't know until now. I packed up my 96 green neon many years ago, sold everything I own to go to Ottawa to get my, I have a political science degree. So that was my thing, right? And I went east and you went west. So we not at the same time, but I totally get that, like selling everything, whatever's left, put in your car, and the passion will drive you.
Exactly. Yeah, my car was loaded to the brim. Yeah. Tried to fit as many things as I could in there. With the hopes of coming out here and finding out what I really wanted to do in the education field. And I feel like I found that, and I'm kind of on that pathway still.
Yeah, and it led you on the right path. So that is absolutely amazing. I think when you listen to your heart too, and you're just like, yeah, I have to follow that dream, and you just did it, and you got into that Mazda, and I think that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, like, let's go back a little. Like, what was the passion behind teaching and teaching children, and where was that genesis, or where did that come from? Where did that ignite?
I really find that my, I like all the inspirational teachers I've had, to be honest, those connections I've made with teachers, how they made me feel in the classroom community, how they made me feel that my voice was heard, how they made me feel that I mattered. I knew I wanted to provide that for kids. I've always just been really interested in working with children and really helping them develop those skills to help them understand who they are, help them recognize that their voice matters, that their contribution to the world matters, and find that space in the classroom community and in the world to share their talents and their gifts with others. And I found that all of my teachers or mentors or the people in my life that I've built strong relationships with have been important in my ability to be a teacher, but as well as to be able to find that passion. And I've just always thought that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a figure in someone's life to help them kind of the way other people helped me.
And it seems like you knew that from a young age, right? Like
I did actually.
Yeah.
I had it's funny, my mom kind of keeps all of my old school work from ever ago, and she found one when I was in grade 2, and the question was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I drew myself as a very tall teacher.
How tall are you now?
I'm not tall at all. I kind of already had that idea in my head as of grade 2, and it kind of stuck with me, and that's kind of always been in the back of my mind, and I'm really happy I pursued that.
That is amazing. And I really was wondering if you could talk to me about Dolphin Kids, and like, how did you get involved? And I believe, obviously, like we were talking about, that's the organization that led you to India and do some work there. Like, can you give me a bit of background? I'm so intrigued by that.
Yeah. Okay. So Dolphin Kids is a positive mindset, life skills, and mental health programs for children and youth. So we provide social, emotional, and cognitive programs for children ages 4 to 13. And we also provide seminars and webinars for parents and classroom programs for educators, and also professional development presentations. But our main goal is to really teach children, youth, parents, and educators neuroscience, to teach them about their brain, and to teach them important 21st century tools like deep breathing, innovation tools, as well as like gratitude journaling, different tools that they can use to really help their social, emotional, and cognitive growth. And the great thing about this is that actually I work with Dr. Shibby Kang. She's the CEO and founder of Dolphin Kids. And I was, many moons ago, her son's kindergarten teacher, and that's how we met. And so we built a great relationship when I was a kindergarten teacher. I was fascinated by her research and her passion and her experience in the mental health field. And I would always ask her questions like, if I find a student who is, nervous or anxious in the class, what should I do? And at the time, she was writing a book called The Dolphin Way. And she was actually writing about a motivational approach called Play Others in Downtime, what we at Dolphin Kids called the POD motivational theory for teaching.
Yeah.
And so she would teach me all these brain science and tricks that I can then integrate into my classroom. And that's when it kind of clicked. We're like, these are tools that kids could practice early, and then they would be able to continue to practice them and hopefully continue to use them as they enter teenage years, adulthood. And so that's one thing I really love about our program is that it's really rooted in neuroscience. All of our methodologies that we use, the tools we use, even the way we deliver our programs is rooted in neuroscience research and evidence-based tools. So again, things like deep breathing strategies, gratitude journaling, communication strategies, just kind of really teaching kids about how we can hardwire our brain more towards practicing these tools. Yeah. And just the benefits that these have on children as well as adults and educators as well, and how they can integrate them a little bit more in their classroom. So our main goal is to really teach kids how to be adaptable, resilient, and innovative.
I love it.
Yeah, so we created programs to help promote that through fun themes and interactive activities.
So what is exactly your role at Dolphins? Like, what do you do on a daily?
Okay, well, I'm the program director. I'm also the instructor, and I also manage the administrative kind of day-to-day tasks as well. So I work within various aspects of the program, from curriculum development to I help also with website design, to developing the programs, teaching the programs, training teachers as well. So I've been lucky and have amazing learning opportunities in a variety of aspects of the program, and being able to work with different members of our team. And so just kind of really helping develop the content, teach the content, and building it that way.
That's awesome. I can't wait for you to dig into some of our content as well, with our lesson plans and downloadable resources. And as well, I feel like when you're talking about the social emotional learning, ours is really rooted in a lot of people's lived experiences, and our presentations when we go virtually into classrooms. It's a whole new thing for us. And you're talking about the gratitude journals and things as such. I think a lot of what we do and offer would really complement a lot of Dolphins type of work, and who knows what we can accomplish together. Like, that would be super cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the mental health toolkit with Stigma-Free is amazing, just in terms of the resources that you have available. And I find too that there's a lot of great symmetry there.
Yeah, awesome. So what's your favorite part of your job? Like, what keeps you ticking?
So many different things. Honestly, I really love the community outreach. I love being able to collaborate with so many different kids, youth, parents, educators, amazing school organizations, awesome organizations like yourself, just being able to connect with so many different people who are on this journey to help kids become resilient, adaptable, and develop these amazing tools that they can use in the classroom and in the world around them. So I think that's been one amazing thing, is working with so many amazing people and organizations. That's really helped me build relationships with other people. And it's been one of my favorite aspects of my job. Another thing is I really love developing the curriculum content, and I also love teaching. I think teaching kids about their brain and the neuroscience behind some of these tools that we use, and how they can actually really help us become more self-aware of our emotions, and different things like that, really helps it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm contributing. It makes me feel like I'm helping others, which is what, as an educator, I really want to do.
Yeah, and that's the impact you want to have when you're working with youth. And like, I feel that too. When I first started doing my presentations and stuff, I was like, if I even help like one young person get help, it's so cliche to say, but if you really think about that, it's like, it's important to know that if you touch one life, then it's completely worth it. And you're obviously touching so many lives. So I'm glad that you do what you do. Why do you believe socially emotional cognitive learning is so imperative? What is it about that type of learning that strikes you as so significant?
Yeah, well, I'll just break down what I mean by social emotional cognitive learning first. So by social, we mean connection, helping kids develop their ability to build strong relationships, positive relationships with other people and themselves as well as being able to build their communication skills, their ability to collaborate with others. So when we say social, we really mean connection. And emotional, I really mean emotional awareness. So being able to understand your feelings, why you're feeling that feeling, and recognizing that emotion, understanding it's okay, and then having the tools on how to manage it or overcome it. And then by cognitive, I mean innovation. So how can you use your creativity? How can you use your out-of-the-box thinking to solve problems? Solve everyday problems we still haven't solved yet. So that's what I mean by social emotional learning. And I believe that every child deserves to understand and practice these skills because of so many benefits that it provides. And our minds and bodies are connected. So when we're able to understand our minds and how we can use social emotional cognitive learning, we're better able to regulate our behavior, our emotions. We're able to think clearer, focus. And I think really teaching children more about mental health and the tools that they can use can really help set them up for success. And research has really shown that social, emotional, and cognitive learning, whether it be used at home or in the classroom or through programs like Dolphin Kids or Stigma-Free, can really help increase academic performance. It can help increase optimism, feelings of resiliency, adaptability. So there's just tons of benefits for it. And I think, what's happened in our society over the last 8 months has been really an eye-opening experience at the amount of resilience, adaptability, and grit that we all need. And I think children right now are going through this and, trying to find the tools to kind of overcome some of these feelings of stress, anxiety that they are feeling.
Because this wasn't taught in school to us.
Yeah, I know. I wish.
Right? It's like, how do we have those tools?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think too, even before COVID, we saw stress and anxiety rates really on the rise within children and youth.
Yeah.
And I think it's super important for kids to understand these tools. And I think it's really important to understand that they actually have the innate tools that they need. They just need to practice them on a regular basis. So I think by teaching children more social, emotional, and cognitive tools, they're going to be better able to manage their emotions, discover who they are, find their passions, their interests, their hobbies, and it's going to be better able to set them up for success now and in the future.
I really like that innovation piece that you're talking about. And it reminds me when I was in university and I felt like all the time it was, memorization,
Yes.
fact. And I was like, okay. But I had this one professor and he was like amazing. And I always say, he came up with the term, I want you to think without crutches. And it's like that idea of innovation and creativity and children being able to think without, always relying on that textbook more. It could be more about what's inside and relying on themselves to be that innovative individual. I just love it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And we've seen that creativity rates have declined and kids are so creative. I worked with so many kids in our programs and they have fantastic ideas, and it's just really giving them the opportunity to explore those, understand that failure is okay. Making mistakes is great, and kind of learning from that. And I think that's what is really important right now for kids to practice.
Definitely. And I was also curious, like, obviously a lot of kids are at home right now. There's more homeschooling. Who knows what the months ahead are going to look like. What can parents, guardians, and caregivers do at home to encourage the emotional, social, cognitive learning?
This is a really great question. And I find that social, emotional, and cognitive learning is really important to reinforce at home. And part of our program is teaching children about emotional awareness and being able to recognize how we're feeling, why we're feeling that feeling, and some ways that we can do to overcome it or handle it. So one thing I encourage parents to do is, if you are having a bad day at work, if you are stressed, if you are feeling anxious, nervous, even if you're feeling happy, excited, confused, whatever emotion you may be feeling that day, talk about it with your child. I think role modeling is really important. Kids look up to you. They watch you. They kind of learn, the ins and outs of how to act through watching their parents. So I find that, if you are having a bad day, if you're feeling stressed, recognizing that, telling them, hey, I am feeling stressed today, and really making it clear that it's okay to feel that way. And kind of teaching them a tool that you're going to maybe use to solve that problem or handle that emotion. So if you are feeling stress from work or just everything that's going on right now, expressing that to your child and giving them the actionable item that you're going to do. So I'm feeling stressed today, but because of that, I'm going to go for a run after I do some work. Yeah. I'm going to have some exercise, because after I exercise, I feel a lot better. And kind of really starting that dialogue through role modeling, encouraging your child to maybe go for a run with you.
Yeah, take that action, right?
Yeah,
go with
do some downtime with you to really help you or help start that conversation is a really important aspect of social, emotional, and cognitive learning. And I think the emotion piece is really important. So if they see you having a bad day, acknowledge that, tell them it's okay. Everyone has bad days. Start that dialogue and get them to practice that actionable item with you.
Nice. And I think really what I always practice and preach is always be authentic, right? With your feelings and how you're doing with your mental health and stuff. I think when parents probably think sometimes like, oh, I got to be the strong, I got to suck it up, I got to just be strong, I can't be weak. And I think sharing, that I'm having a hard time too with their children, it can have a lot of power. And, what are we going to do about this together? And so it creates that nice team, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think it also opens up the discussion too of asking your child, when have you felt this way? How do you handle it? Or what are some tools that you think we could do as a family? So it really I think that open dialogue around emotions and feelings is really important.
Yeah, and that's what our toolkit is so good for, the student mental health toolkit. We have like a mental health checklist in there, for instance, and then the family can go through together and see how they're doing. We also have things like a distress quiz. And when, identifying, not diagnosing, when perhaps it's time to get help if somebody is struggling to the point where it isn't manageable at home. These things do happen. And so with Stigma-Free, it's interesting with a lot of the resources too. It's, talking about the 10-tip strategies of staying well at home. And so, you'll get to explore these going forward. And I'm really excited to share those with the world as our toolkit just came out 2 weeks ago. And as well, what advice would you give educators who are interested in a program like Dolphins for their students?
Yeah, well, I think just as a teacher myself, I loved inviting guest speakers or programs or something outside of the classroom into the classroom. These days, it could be something virtual to incorporate. And because I think it's a great way to get kids engaged and excited about this type of learning. My first piece of advice for educators would be to do your research and just really kind of find a program that you find fits well with your classroom. So at Dolphin Kids, what we do, any educators who are interested in booking a presentation with us or a program with us or a workshop, we always do what's called a needs assessment first. So we have a chance to have a phone call with the teacher and kind of just learn a little bit more about their classroom community. Every classroom is super unique with different learners and different needs. And so what we really kind of discuss with the teacher and really kind of focus on is what type of lessons in terms of social, emotional, cognitive would really benefit your classroom, and what kind of different aspects of that learning would you really like to reinforce?
Yeah, because everyone's so unique, and different classes could be they're very different, I'm sure too, and the culture of the classroom and what the teacher finds important. And so it's obviously tailored, right?
Exactly. So finding a program that you can really kind of tailor to your class, I find is really important. We've had some teachers reach out saying, I want to focus more on emotional awareness, or some teachers reach out and say, I want to focus more on adaptability or resiliency or innovation. So every class is different. So finding a program that can really meet the needs of your classroom, kind of meet the needs of what you're hoping your learners will walk away with, is kind of my first piece of advice. So just kind of finding a program that really works within your classroom.
Yeah.
And something that you can kind of make a little bit more personalized is what I love about our classroom programs, is being able to tailor it a bit to each class.
Yeah.
And then another piece of advice I would just tell educators is take some actionable items from these presentations or programs. So something you can continue to use in your classroom or promote, or maybe, for example, we teach a lot of deep breathing strategies. So if you find a deep breathing strategy, and let's say you had our program coming in, you find you really like rainbow breathing, then maybe continue to do that with your class even when we're not there. So some sort of actionable item that they continue to do with their students to really help them practice and understand the importance of these tools. And some programs too even have worksheets or resources as well that they're able to kind of continue to use, and just kind of continuing on with the social, emotional, cognitive learning. I always say, and I always kind of, once I really understood the importance of this in my classroom, I taught grade 2 for a long time. And I kind of made it the way my classroom lived and breathed versus seeing it as one extra subject or thing to do. I kind of saw it as social emotional learning was kind of like the platform for my classroom.
It's your
and then I would try to
your foundation, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I would try to integrate the academics within that. So just finding ways that you can really merge it with the academics in your class and trying to find ways that you can integrate it in all sorts of activities in your class.
You really have to check out our lesson plans. We do that.
Yeah.
We have that. Yeah, your Lindsay Henry Surrey School youth counselor, and Maddie, who is communications and project manager that you met, also has an education background. So yeah, we put together these lesson plans that are incorporated in different subjects. Like you can do this in art or art.
Yeah,
great. You can do this in English, and so it has that whole piece and that follow-up piece after presentations. And I know what you mean. Like it's great to have a presentation. It's great to have learnings, but then what? You want to create something sustainable, right?
Exactly. You want something to do to kind of continue the learning on.
Exactly.
And, we also too on Dolphin Kids, we have tons of free lessons. We once COVID happened, we band together as a team and we create a lot of free lessons for teachers to incorporate social, emotional, and cognitive learning. So if there are any teachers watching, lots of amazing resources on Stigma-Free and Dolphin Kids too.
We'll get Maddie. Please post up Dolphin's website. We'd really like to promote and to encourage people to go to Dolphin's. Shimmy and her son Josh are quite amazing.
Yeah, Josh is awesome. Yeah, great. Josh, yes.
Josh.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, we're going to be talking to him. We are looking for presenters, everybody, and we really want a wide array. We want youth ambassadors. We also have people who have backgrounds in education. Maybe I'll convince you, Elyse, maybe you'd want to take that on too. But it's really awesome because as presenters, we get to go in virtually and talk to young people about mental health and share a personal story if we have one, or to bring in that lived experience. That's just always what I'm always pushing, and what I love so much is that lived experience piece. Okay, and we're very excited to welcome you as a new Facebook Live host with Stigma-Free Society. And I was wondering if you could tell your viewers about the new show, the time, who your audience is, title, all these things.
Sure. Well, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be a host for these Facebook Live events. This will be fun. And the show is called Smart, Happy, Strong Kids. Our mantra at Dolphin Kids is actually, I'm smart, I'm happy, I'm strong. So that's where that kind of came from. And it's going to be on Mondays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on a bi-weekly basis. So our first show is Monday, December 7th at 4 p.m. And the audience for this show is children and parents. So if you want to come and join me for some social, emotional, and cognitive activities, we'll be doing lots of play, others in downtime, and we'll have lots of interactive activities for your children to engage in, and parents, you can join in as well.
That's so awesome. And what I find with Stigma-Free is like, we don't get many viewers we get people dropping in and leaving, but we have it saved to our YouTube. And then what's so beautiful is that Facebook Live just saves it in the feed, and then people can refer back, use your talk, and we're just going to promote it. And I'm very excited to have you on board. I feel like you have a lot of amazing and relevant knowledge to share, and I'm really excited for your show.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited to teach kids about the brain and to do some fun coping tool exercises.
Awesome. So what are your next steps, Elyse? Like anything else to add, or maybe some words of wisdom for parents or other teachers out there who may be struggling teaching youth mental health, or anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, well, I guess my words of wisdom is we're all in this together. And I am really passionate about working with parents and educators. And if you ever want to check out some more resources, again, it's dolphinkids.ca. My email's on there as well. I love getting just personally connecting with anyone who is interested in more tools or resources. We're also working on an app. So it's called Spark Mindset. So we are building a digital platform for our content too, which is kind of the next steps, which is really exciting. Just having, my background in educational technology and working with the team on that. So that's been great too. So stay tuned for some more information on that as we launch shortly. And I'm just really excited to be collaborating with the Stigma-Free Society and you, Andrea, and I really appreciate this opportunity. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you to Shimmy, Dr. Shimmy Kang and her son Josh, and everybody else who's been so awesome. I really feel, even if we're in the same business, like I feel like there's always opportunity to promote each other and not feel like we have to be competitive. And I find sometimes people work in silos in a lot of the work that we do. And why not help each other and promote each other? And during this very difficult time, because our young people are going to need so many resources, and the more that they have, the better.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. We're all in this together. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to diving more into the mental health toolkit. I can't wait to look more into those lessons. And I'm really excited about that. You've done amazing work. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Our team has worked hard over the last couple of months to bring that together so quickly. And we also have a COVID-19 Stigma-Free Youth Wellness Toolkit as well. I find the new Student Mental Health Toolkit is like so robust and comprehensive. So you're going to have to spend some time in there. So it'll be great. So thank you so much, Elyse. Oh, you're freezing. That's so funny. Technology.
Oh, am I good now?
It's always the way it is. It's like you can
like very robotic.
A great interview, and then all of a sudden you're like frozen. You're fine now. Don't worry about it. No, it's
okay, great.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much. Stay on the stream because I'd love to thank you and say goodbye to you personally. Great. And thank you everybody for tuning in and hearing Elyse's story and learning about dolphins. And I'm very excited. Let's just go on with this week, try to remain positive and have an outlook of that we're all in this together. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.